All right, welcome back. Thanks everyone for joining today for our webinar. We're here with Shenna and just kind of want to give you the floor to give a chance to talk about yourself and a little bit about your background.
Yeah, for sure. So my name is Shenna, and I am a R&B pop singer originally from Virginia. I moved to New York around 6 years ago. As my career started, I guess it started around that time, 6 or 7 years ago, because I had my first big placement on a TV show. And that's been really my space, especially during this time of quarantine. I write a lot of songs, my original music for TV and film. And yeah, I've been able to tour around the world, meet some very amazing people. I also teach on the side vocal performance and songwriting lessons, like master classes. And it's just been an amazing time.
That's great. Yeah, it's got to be definitely during the quarantine. It's got to be a good opportunity just to kind of sit down,
Oh,
hunker down, right?
right, exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. Kind of what led you to like music in the first place? Was it something that you were always passionate about, or like what kind of started that off?
Yeah, so I actually grew up around a lot of family. I'm an only child, but I had a lot of cousins that just always wanted to sing at every family event. And I was very shy. I was the athlete. Actually, I played basketball, believe it or not, all through high school and everything. So they were like, "Oh, but I know you could sing. I've heard you sing before." And I was like, "No." But then I entered a talent show, and when I love the applause, I'm not going to lie. I was like, oh, this is amazing feeling. I haven't felt this on the court. So I hung up the basketball and went straight forward to music.
What would you say are some of like the projects you're currently working on right now?
Yeah, I'm actually working on my own album right now, which has been a lot of fun. Yeah, during quarantine, it's been very interesting because I've been hiring a lot of musicians overseas, and just doing Zooms like how we are right now. And I've always wanted to do this. I love traveling. So I was like, I want to, involve different cultures in my music. And so I've finally been able to do that. And then also I've been, continuing to work on TV and film. I also started getting into some acting stuff recently, which has been really awesome. So yeah, just tapping all the avenues as I can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's definitely good. Diverse portfolio for
Yeah, right. Yeah.
yeah, and I think that's very interesting. I don't know how much you looked into that, but I've seen a lot of like singer-songwriters do kind of make that crossover into TV, whether it's even just commercials, but I have seen that where they're in like a TV show, maybe just like a little TV spot even. I've
Yeah,
seen a lot of
exactly.
that happening in the industry as well.
hmm
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's definitely a big reason why I did it. I was like, I already write for TV and film. What if I, start acting in some of the things I'm writing for? Of course, my dog is going crazy as we're talking. I'm
Oh,
sorry. I'm like,
no, it
please
happens.
stop. But yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool. Nice, nice. Where do you think a lot of your, I wouldn't say music inspiration, but do you have a certain sound that you had developed through artists you've listened to in the past or that you've grown up with?
Yeah, I think for me, like just involving both music and theater together, what I love personally, like I love like the Lady Gagas, the Bruno Mars, Michael Jacksons, like the
Hmm.
people that come on the stage and it's just like you don't know what's gonna happen, but and Beyonce, of course, like it's just going to be like visually amazing. And they're like this character, even if Lady Gaga, for example, she doesn't really like sing all the time, even though she can.
Hmm.
It's like the theatrics, and that's kind of what I brought into my style as a musician. I mean, even though I'm trained classically, I'm trained jazz vocally, I could do all that stuff, but I like to, just have this character. Like it's just a lot of fun. I think that's where the theater comes in.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think the two go hand in hand for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say even Katy Perry is kind of one of those people
Yeah,
too, who has that,
exactly.
but also can bring that performance. But yeah, that's good to hear for sure.
Cool.
Yeah, so I mean, we're a tech company. We do a lot with tech. Where do you think that tech and products that exist right now in the sphere kind of interact with music? And that could be anything from apps in general, or let's say streaming even. Like, what have you seen over the course of your career? How tech plays a role?
Oh man, especially in these past 2 years. It's crazy saying 2 years of quarantine.
Yeah, I know,
Like,
right? We're stuck.
I don't like that, but it's real.
Right.
The tech has been just a key for us to stay honestly known and to keep growing ourselves, especially as creatives like myself, especially with the live streaming. I don't know if you're familiar like with the Oculus, like they even have like
Hmm.
immersive experiences where people like fans can come into the room. They're like on the Oculus. That's just like so mind blowing. So
Right, right.
I've never been more into tech in my life until this. Like I've always loved it. I've always been the first one to buy the new phone, the first one to get the new computer. I love
Right.
that stuff, you know. I want
Hmm.
to stay up to date, but with the music, like technology has definitely taken over with the live streaming, you know, making sure that the sound doesn't lag, interacting with our fans. And we all have to be super creative because we're all doing this, you know, the same thing. We're like, oh, there's not really touring, you know, it's just
Right.
now
Right.
kind of coming back. And that's most of like the tours that got canceled, you know.
Mhm.
So we're having to get very innovative, and it's been challenging, but at the same time it's fun when you finally figure it out.
Yeah, for sure. I imagine a lot of trial and error. Like, is this going to
Yeah,
work? Are people going to tune in here? They might
yeah,
not. They might. So,
yeah,
yeah,
for
absolutely.
sure.
Have you seen like fellow colleagues in the music industry, kind of a similar situation as well, in terms of like just having to adapt during the pandemic? And
Yeah, I feel like it's been definitely a big struggle. A lot of people that weren't heavy on social media, you know, there's a lot of creatives that are just like in their space, like they live in the studio, they live on the stage, and they don't really
Mhm.
do the social media thing a lot. I'm kind of in the middle of that, and of course I've had to lean more towards the social side, but I'm seeing a lot of creative like creativity. Like I saw someone, Tinashe, she did a virtual experience, like she was like a avatar, I don't know what you would call it, but
Really?
like
Okay.
she was like this like character, and like people were like, her fans were like, I don't know if it was like cats or something. It was just like very weird and strange. Like they could
Okay.
like clap and actually like you could see like what they're doing, what they're saying on the screen. And I was just like, wow, we're here right now.
Right. We're
And
right. This is the
I'm
stuff we
kind of,
call movies. Now it's, yeah.
yeah, that's how it felt. It felt like this technology finally was able to really shine. And that's
Mhm.
awesome for those companies, you know?
Yeah, definitely. It's kind of dual, helps out both ends. So yeah,
Hmm.
that's pretty unique. Yeah, what's kind of your thoughts on like social media in general? And we see a lot of music that ends up coming out from TikTok, and that's kind of a way for some artists to really promote their music. I think there's obviously pros and cons to both of that concept, both even from a, I wouldn't say ethical, but from a
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm trying to find the word, but like it's almost like a. In some ways, you could see a lowering the standards of music, but at the same time, you see artists coming out from that. So I don't know if you yourself have a TikTok presence or something that you're interested in, but it's definitely interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting game, especially if you're like, let's say you excel in like one subject in school, right? Like now this is like a whole new subject you have to learn. Like
Mhm.
Instagram was my thing, and Facebook. I'm like, oh, I'm really good at this. I kind of mastered it, and now there's like this thing that everybody's on. I'm just like, oh my God, do I have to dance? You know, like
Right, right, right.
I have to be a comedian now. Like, oh, this is a lot.
Mhm.
And it's been great. I feel like when it was super new, like in the beginning of quarantine, like when a lot of people were just now joining the app, even though it was already out, you know, it was very organic. And now it's just kind of like everybody's on there, just like throwing content. And
Yeah.
it's a lot. It's a lot to kind of go through. The algorithm is amazing. It can
Mhm.
help artists. I've made some fans. I'm not really on TikTok. Like it's just a lot of social media. I want to get on it more. And it's great that songs can break. I've seen friends, their songs
Mhm.
have gotten millions of streams because of TikTok, and you know, they've been able to get managers and all of that. So I think that any space that can help artists more, I'm definitely, you know, supportive of it.
Yeah, yeah, and it's interesting too. If you even just look in general on TikTok, it's not even artists. It's unique. You find people who are dietitians. You find people who
Yeah,
are like real estate agents using this leverage.
cooks, etc. Yeah,
Yeah, so it,
right.
it really is unique to see how people can leverage their business and build it from there. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
100%, definitely. And but now, you know, there's also these companies that are like, oh, we'll market you on TikTok for a certain fee. And it's like, oh my goodness, you know, it's
yeah,
always one of those. That's when you know the platform's doing great. When you start getting those kind of messages. And it's like,
right,
all right,
right.
now what's real, what's not? Because obviously there's marketing companies that are amazing, you
Hmm.
know.
Yeah, so I know you had the chance to sort of poke around in the Proton app here and there. What features have you seen on there that you think could be beneficial or have been beneficial so far, just in general with how you operate?
Yeah, I think that Proton is amazing as far as just like the personal connection that we can have with our clients. So I love the features that we could make videos talking about our services. Usually I'm making a one sheet and I'm sending it to my clients. They don't get to hear my voice or hear my enthusiasm or anything. So I feel like you can get a good read on who you want to hire for your personal needs depending on the person. Everybody's different and you might relate more to someone than someone. I mean, you know what I mean? Like you might be able to benefit from somebody else's services more. I also like that in the app, as myself creating it, I could edit videos. If anybody's trying to join the app, which is amazing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. That's good to hear. It's definitely, we want Proton to be kind of an app for do it all, but we really are pushing that video element. And it's something that, has been part of the process even before the pandemic. So even more so now, we have that ability to say, hey, here's a human to human connection that you have a direct link to. So
right.
That's awesome. I'm glad you're able to use it that way. Cool.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, well, that's about it for me on my end. I don't know if you want to promote anything else you're producing or anything you want to tell just the world in general.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to tell you guys, I'm on Proton. If you want to have a 15-minute consultation with me, we could speak about your goals as a musician, as a songwriter. I've been in your shoes. I treat my clients almost like a mentorship as well. So I would definitely just love to talk to you guys and help you excel in your creative careers.
Cool. Well, absolutely. Thanks for your time. Appreciate the effort. And yeah, we're looking forward to hearing what you have and see what goes on in the tech world. Yeah.
Thanks for sure. Thank you guys.
All righty.